Hey, old man talking here. Hi, I'm Bruno Annetta, science teacher and artist, and I do think that paradoxical thinking is a solution to the human condition. In fact, I'd go so far as to say I think it might be the solution to the human condition. And by human condition, I'm talking about the conflicts that arise within us and between us. A big claim? Maybe, maybe not. In 2014, an experiment was conducted using paradoxical thinking to change the fixed hardline mindsets of 161 Jewish Israeli participants affected by the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. It was successful. The results showed that most had changed their attitudes from hardline to conciliatory, and even after a year, they were voting for more peace-loving parties in their elections. Have a look at my references for more information about this. Paradoxical thinking unfreezes fixed mindsets and leads to creative and innovative solutions. That's why big business uses it. Just do a Google search with paradoxical thinking and business to see what I mean. They use it to increase their business capital. I want to use it to increase our social capital. The results of over 35 years of study and personal experience has convinced me that we need to openly teach, use, develop paradoxical thinking for the good of society. So, what is paradoxical thinking? Simply stated, it's thoughts or ideas that seem logical on their own, but irrational when appearing together. For example, less is more, to know nothing is to know something, and my favourite, which I use regularly in my work and art, to create something, you must first create nothing. It's a solution, or I'd actually say it's the solution, because it's part of our nature. It's the natural outcome of how our brain is structured, how it thinks and how it views the world. We are essentially paradoxical beings. Therefore, we need to use paradoxical thinking to solve our problems. With regards to structure, the brain is made up of two sections, the left and right hemispheres, which are connected by a bundle of nerve fibres called the corpus callosum. The two hemispheres communicate with each other across the corpus callosum. With regards to how the brain thinks and views the world, my current understanding is that the hemispheres oppose each other. In his book, The Master and His Emissary, The Divided Brain and the Making of the Western World, Dr. Ian McGilchrist states, "There is nonetheless a highly significant difference in how the two hemispheres work, giving rise to two wholly distinct takes on the world. The right is at ease with ambiguity and the idea that opposites may be compatible. There is a reason we have two hemispheres. We need both versions of the world." In summary, the right hemisphere focuses on the big picture, the whole, and it uses divergent thinking, which is the process of creating many unique solutions in order to solve a problem. Its nature is one of connection and collaboration. The right hemisphere believes that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, and that to understand the whole, you need to see it embodied in its surroundings. The left hemisphere, on the other hand, focuses on the small picture, the fine detail, and it uses convergent thinking, which is the process of finding the single best solution to a problem. Its nature is one of self-interest and competition. The left hemisphere believes that the whole is the sum of its parts, and that by understanding the parts, you can understand the whole. When we move between and combine convergent and divergent thinking, we start to think paradoxically, which leads to a deeper understanding of the problem, because it considers both views of the world, therefore creates a solution that's more appropriate to the real world. It's the foundation to creative thinking. The problem is that the left hemisphere can't cope with the paradox created by the two opposing views. It wants black and white answers. It wants certainty, so hates paradoxical thinking. It finds it confusing and irrational. Yet, the left hemisphere view is the dominant view in Western society. So I've created the following demonstration just for your left hemisphere because it likes symbols. To your right hemisphere, I say, I'm trying as hard as I can, okay? To demonstrate paradoxical thinking, I'm going to use the yin and yang symbol from Chinese philosophy because it's a good model for the two opposing hemispheres of the brain. The black outer ring represents the whole, which can also represent your vision or the problem you're working on. The black and white halves represent the two opposing states. I also like the yin and yang symbol because its design highlights a few of the points I'm making. Think of the dot as the eye of a fish. So when in yin state, you must always keep an eye on yang, and when in yang state, you must always keep an eye on yin. In terms of the brain, when you work on the small picture, you must keep an eye on the big picture, and when you work on the big picture, you must keep an eye on the small picture. I say that the yin and yang symbol represents what I call harmonious opposition, which I define as two opposing forces working together in harmony to form a whole. I also like the yin and yang symbol because it implies circular movement. Notice how it seems that one fish is chasing the tail of the other. So let's actually spin the symbol and see what happens. We get a completely new state, grey. Grey is obviously an illusion as we only have black and white sections. So what use is it? It creates uncertainty. Is any given point black or white or both? Think of it as the grey area, as in doubt. Its use is in that it opens up inquiry, which unfreezes a fixed mindset. Grey represents paradoxical thinking. It's the result of moving between divergent and convergent thinking, backwards and forwards, and is essential for creativity and innovation. And for you physics geeks out there, the spinning yin and yang symbol is similar to quantum mechanical superposition. Did you know that Niels Bohr, famous Danish physicist, 1922 Nobel Prize winner and father of quantum mechanics, actually designed his own coat of arms in 1947 around the yin and yang symbol? His motto is "Contraria sunt complementa," which means opposites are complementary. My personal experience is that paradoxical thinking is not comfortable to start with, but the more you use it, the easier it gets. I use it productively and successfully in my work and art and in life in general, and that's why I think it's a solution to the human condition. And I'd go so far as to say, as I said before, possibly the solution to the human condition. I thought you might ask that. Well, if there's enough interest, I'll make another video explaining exactly how I use it and how to detect which hemisphere is dominating. Meanwhile, you might want to check out my references, and please let me know what you think in the comments section below. But to finish off, I'd like to leave you with this quote from F. Scott Fitzgerald.